friends, so I came to school today to do a couple things, and as I was walking in, I found this on the playground. The friends in my class know what it is, but we have little mittens for our hands when it's really cold outside. And so I picked it up to take it inside, and it reminded me of one of my favorite books. It is called The Mitten. It is adapted, so the story kind of changed a little bit, and illustrated, that's the person who drew it, by Jan Brett. I wonder what's going to happen. Once, there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as the snow. Can you see how white the snow is there? Pretty white. At first, his grandma Baba did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. Kind of like this one got left on the playground. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. There's his Baba making his mittens. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow, and it was left behind. A mole, it's pretty little. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten. And he burrowed inside. That's how a mole moves. They burrow in the ground. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. The mole's super tiny, like a mouse. Oh, a snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. There he is. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think that there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. There they are, climbing in the mitten together. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. So there's the hedgehog climbing inside. Uh-oh. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in, also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog kind of grumbled. Ugh. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Can you see his talons? They're like sharp claws. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. Looks like they're making room for everybody. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in, that's his nose. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox some room. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as can be. But what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. See how it looks like it's got all those lines? That's called knitting. They use yarn. Oh, along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. she wiggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. See the mouse on top of the bear's nose there? Little tiny nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! Oh no! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. Ooh, can you see it? What do you think it is? It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Pages are sticking. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had both of his mittens. The end. There's Baba with both of the mittens. The end. Bye, friends!